Young and the Restless. Kane's revenge targets Victor's allies in explosive war. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Young and the Restless sees Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, gearing up to make war on Victor Newman, Eric Braden. And he just revealed a shocking list of targets that he plans to either use as allies, or they could be collateral damage in the epic battle about to rip Genoa City apart. We're going to see who Kane tasked Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, to target as the next phase of his attack on Victor begins. Young and the Restless. Kane's sneaky meeting and suspicions in Genoa City. This week Kane crept out of France after telling everybody else that they are stuck because of a storm. He is in GC for a sneaky little meeting with Holden, who is doing backdoor deals for his new boss Kane, who's also his old boss Dumas. So, the party guests are suspicious. Victor, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, and others wonder what's going on and what game Kane is playing by keeping them at the chateau in France. Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, his lawyer and co-conspirator, swears that Kane is a changed man. But I kind of think she knows better. Amanda was told via text that Kane was headed for GC and to keep the guests distracted while he does his thing. And what his thing is involves Holden and some sketchy commercial real estate transactions back in town, and also it involves a list of targets that Kane has in mind. So this meeting with Holden is the first time he's ever laid eyes on Dumas in person, and then Kane makes a proper introduction and tells him his real name. The truth about Holden's employment and Kane's plan. And it turns out that Kane really did have Damien Kane, Jermaine Rivers, fire Holden after Kane fired Damien. It was all part of the bigger plan. Then Kane contacted Holden directly not long after that. And ever since, secretly, Holden has only pretended to be unemployed and disgruntled and jobless. This attitude that also explains why when Damien offered to get Holden a job at Winters, he pretended to be angry and called it a pity job. Because Kane had already given him a great job. I'm sure he's paying him a big pile. Holden is Kane's secret right-hand man, his eyes and ears in Genoa City. And that involves a list of people to target. But first, Holden was busy buying up a bunch of real estate within the business district. Kane also told Holden at their meeting at Crimson Lights he actually used to live in Genoa City, and he tells Kane that he likes it there. Holden actually prefers it to LA, and we've already seen that he's done a lot of legwork for his sketchy boss. Kane's strategic targets: Mariah, Claire, Abby, Adam, and Chelsea on Young and the Restless. So Kane wants Holden to befriend certain people. These are key people, key strategic targets. But Kane is not going to tell Holden why he's chosen these people. And when he starts asking questions, Kane will not answer them. And he warns Holden, just follow orders and don't worry, whine and stop asking. So, I'm sure Kane is paying him a pretty price for this. On this shocking list of targets is Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Chelsea Lawson Newman, Melissa Claire Egan. So, Kane is really pleased and impressed to hear that Holden has already gotten close to Claire. Now, I do think Holden was generally interested in Claire, because he was already making friends with her way before Kane gave him this list of people to target. So, he wants Holden to get even closer to Claire, and the others are very interesting choices as well. All the targets are either Newman or Newman adjacent. Mariah is running Cassidy first. But it's more about her ties to Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. And of course, Claire is a Newman and working at Chancellor Industries as her grandma Nikki's right-hand woman. Chelsea and Adam both work high up at Newman Media. And of course, Adam is a Newman and Abby, of course, is a Newman as well. Young and the Restless, the Newman connection and Kane's possible allies or targets. So with this list, Kane is targeting people who are either Victor's kids or very close to them. Because Claire is Victoria Newman's Amelia Heinley, kid also a Newman, Adam is his son, Mariah is very close to Nick, and of course Abby is the Newman that nobody ever thinks about. But she's still a Newman. Plus, as Kane was in GC tightening up his targets and getting Holden busy on making new strategic friendships, we're left wondering why. So, are these people going to be possible allies that Kane wants? Or are they going to be targets of Kane's if they refuse to cooperate with him? And of course, at the beginning, they're not even going to know, because it's Holden approaching them and nobody has tied them together. Young and the Restless, Billy's alliance and the Winters family dilemma. So, back in France, there's another alliance that Kane doesn't even know that's cooking. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, tells Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, he's gonna offer himself up to Kane to team up against Victor and snatch Chancellor back from the mustache. So Kane has got a nice list of allies or possible targets for collateral damage depending on how things go with Holden. And of course, Victor is the primary target, and I would say Damien is now a close second, because of his and Lily's growing attraction, which Kane was asking Holden a bunch of questions about. What's interesting in all this is that the Winters family, they're not fans of Victor after he screwed over Lily on the Chancellor deal. But Devin Hamilton, Brighton James, was once close to Victor, and he and Lily really hate Kane. So the Winters may align with Victor. We'll see. The debate is I think they would see him as the lesser of two evils, or the Winters may initially act like Switzerland and stay neutral, because the Newmans screwed Lily over so badly. But push comes to shove, I bet Devin and Lily side with the Newmans against Kane and Billy. Young and the Restless, Chelsea's discovery and Adam's warning to Victor. So, Kane is getting all his deceptive little ducks in a row using Amanda and Holden as his minions. But then there's a wrinkle this week. Chelsea spots Kane at Crimson Lights after Holden leaves, and she is shocked to see him back in Genoa City. So once Chelsea sees Kane and they chat, she gets really, really suspicious. As a former con artist, Chelsea can spot another con a mile away. So, of course, she runs to tell Adam that Kane showed up out of the blue. That is going to send Adam racing to warn Victor. Because between the two of them, I bet Adam and Chelsea figure out that Kane must be Dumas. They do the math on him being a thorn in Victor's side for 6 years, which is how long Kane's been gone from town on Young and the Restless. And then there he is while everybody else is gone. Adam is going to move heaven and earth to get to France. He's going to be quite a sight when he gets to the Newman rail car all sweaty and out of breath. The aftermath, hidden cameras and Victor's strategy on Young and the Restless. But of course, giving him the news that Duma is Kane is old news by then. However, it is big news that Kane was back in GC and up to something. Fortunately for Kane, Holden was already gone from Crimson Lights before Chelsea spotted him. But also remember, Kane will notice that Adam has made it onto the hill. And them finding that out before they come and confront them might buy Kane a little time to strategize. Once the guests know that Kane left the chateau and went back to GC, everything's going to blow up in Kane's face. Abby and Devin have already suggested they might be being held there as a distraction. Some people have wondered if their companies might be in danger. And this week, spoilers say Victor stays a step ahead of Kane. That could be thanks to Adam. But Kane clearly has a complex strategy with contingency plans in place. So, Victor knowing Kane was in Genoa City may only accelerate the plot, which would be nice, right? Excitement for Kane's plans and potential karmic slap for Victor. In the meantime, Holden is back in town getting closer to these people on the list. I'm super excited to see what Kane has planned. I thought he was a jerk 6 years ago when he left. Even though Daniel Goddard was truly hot, I thought Kane was just an a-hole. I didn't like the way he treated Lily. So, we'll see if they have found a way to make him more likable or at least a more appealing villain. I mean, Victor has been behaving so badly for so long that I've been wanting him to get a karmic slap. So, maybe that'll be a fun thing to see Kane doing. But it's not going to be too long before Y&R reveals why exactly this list of targets has been selected. The tension in Genoa City has never been more suffocating, as Kane's meticulous plans begin to reverberate through every corner of the city. No longer content to operate in Victor's shadow, Kane has become a force of reckoning, a man driven by a combination of anger, justice, and the need to protect his family. Yet even as he plots, the line between revenge and obsession begins to blur, revealing just how dangerous a man scorned can become. Each of Victor's allies now faces the full weight of Kane's cunning strategy. In quiet boardroom meetings, whispered phone calls, and unexpected confrontations in the hallways of Newman Enterprises, Kane strikes with precision, exploiting weaknesses that have long gone unnoticed. No one is safe, and the allies who once believed themselves untouchable are beginning to feel the first tremors of a storm they cannot control. Among the most affected is Nikki Newman, whose loyalty to her family is unwavering yet increasingly strained. She watches as Kane maneuvers with a calculating intensity, questioning whether the man she has known for years is acting out of justice or simmering resentment. Her fear grows that the city she loves may be torn apart not by corporate battles alone, but by the personal vendettas threatening to erupt at any moment. Meanwhile, Sharon and Phyllis find themselves reluctantly drawn into Kane's campaign. Both women understand the stakes in ways others cannot. Each has been betrayed, deceived, or manipulated by Victor's machinations in the past. Their involvement adds layers of complexity and tension as old wounds resurface, and alliances are tested under the pressure of high-stakes warfare. Kane's strategy is multifaceted, targeting not just Victor's business allies but also the hidden networks of influence that support them. Legal battles, corporate sabotage, and carefully timed disclosures of secrets are all weapons in Kane's arsenal. Each move forces Victor and his allies to respond, often in ways that reveal cracks in their carefully constructed armor. One particularly dramatic confrontation unfolds when Kane orchestrates a meeting that brings Victor's most trusted executives face to face with evidence of their covert betrayals. Shock, anger, and disbelief ripple through the room as long-hidden schemes are laid bare. For Victor, the revelation is a bitter pill, exposing vulnerabilities that he had never anticipated and forcing him to confront the uncomfortable truth. Kane has not only learned the inner workings of his empire, but has also begun to exploit them with ruthless efficiency. Yet while Kane gains ground, he also faces unexpected challenges. Adam Newman's unpredictability threatens to derail key elements of the plan, as Adam alternates between acting as a potential ally and a wild card whose motives remain shrouded in mystery. Their interactions crackle with tension, blending elements of rivalry, grudging respect, and the ever-present danger of betrayal. The personal stakes are equally high. Kane's family, particularly his children, are unwittingly pulled into the storm, leaving Kane to navigate the treacherous intersection of business warfare and parental responsibility. His love for his family fuels his actions, but also complicates them, as he must constantly weigh the potential fallout against his desire for retribution. In the midst of this escalating drama, Genoa City itself becomes a character, its streets, offices, and homes infused with the tension of imminent confrontation. Every whispered conversation, every furtive glance, and every seemingly innocuous action carries weight. Kane's revenge campaign is not only about taking down Victor's allies, it is about reshaping the very fabric of the city's power dynamics. Unexpected alliances begin to form as individuals reassess their loyalties in the wake of Kane's revelations. Some choose to side with him, drawn by the promise of justice or personal gain, while others retreat into the shadows, fearful of the consequences of defiance. The shifting landscape keeps both Victor and the audience on edge, uncertain who will emerge victorious or how far Kane is willing to go to achieve his goals. As the days unfold, a series of shocking twists heightens the stakes even further. Secret rendezvous, late-night confrontations, and the surfacing of long-buried family secrets add layers of intrigue. Characters are forced to make choices that could either protect them or place them directly in Kane's path. Meanwhile, Victor's attempts to regain control grow increasingly desperate. His calculated maneuvers and manipulations clash with Kane's strategic brilliance, setting the stage for confrontations that are as emotionally charged as they are professionally consequential. Among the most gripping developments is the emergence of a shadowy figure whose involvement threatens to tip the balance in unexpected ways. This enigmatic presence possesses knowledge that could devastate both Victor's empire and Kane's meticulously laid plans, introducing a pulse-pounding uncertainty that keeps viewers on edge. Throughout it all, Kane's moral compass is tested. His pursuit of justice, though righteous in motive, often leads him down morally ambiguous paths, raising the question of whether vengeance can ever be fully justified. Every decision carries consequences, and the intricate interplay of loyalty, ambition, and personal desire creates a tapestry of drama that captivates the city and the audience alike. By the end of this unfolding saga, the lines between hero and villain blur. Kane's journey is one of empowerment, strategy, and emotional turbulence, reflecting the high stakes of human ambition and the enduring power of familial bonds. Genoa City is left reeling, its landscape irrevocably altered by Kane's campaign against Victor's allies. Friends become foes, secrets are exposed, and the reverberations of one man's quest for justice continue to echo throughout every corner of the city. Viewers are left gripping their seats as the explosive war twist brings them closer to confrontations that will redefine relationships, challenge loyalties, and rewrite the rules of power in ways no one could have imagined. Kane's revenge is no longer a mere subplot. It is a force of nature, sweeping through Genoa City with relentless intensity, leaving no one untouched, and promising dramatic payoffs that will linger in memory long after the final confrontation. As Kane's campaign of vengeance deepens, Genoa City becomes a powder keg ready to explode. Every move he makes sends ripples through Victor's tightly knit network, and the city's elite are forced to reconsider where their loyalties truly lie. Among the most significant developments is the involvement of Nick Newman, who finds himself torn between his allegiance to his family and the growing realization that Victor's empire may be built on treachery and deceit. Nick's internal conflict adds a psychological edge to the drama as he struggles with the decision to either side with Kane or remain loyal to his father. The tension between father and son escalates during high-stakes confrontations in the boardroom, where corporate strategy collides with personal vendetta. Kane's carefully orchestrated attacks continue to target Victor's allies with precision, exposing weaknesses that no one thought existed. Executives who once believed themselves untouchable begin to crumble under the pressure of strategic revelations and public humiliation. Each exposure serves as both a warning and a catalyst, forcing Victor's inner circle to react defensively, often in ways that further destabilize their positions. Meanwhile, Adam Newman emerges as a wild card. His unpredictable behavior keeps both Victor and Kane on edge as he oscillates between manipulation, alliance, and outright sabotage. His actions introduce a layer of uncertainty that heightens the stakes, as even the most calculated plans can unravel in the blink of an eye. Amidst the corporate warfare, Kane's personal life is also caught in the crossfire. His family, particularly his children and close confidants, are drawn into the chaos, and Kane must constantly weigh the cost of his vengeance against the potential harm to those he loves most. These emotional stakes intensify the drama, showing a man who is determined but not immune to the personal consequences of his actions. Unexpected allies begin to surface, some motivated by justice, others by ambition. Characters who had been sidelined for years suddenly find opportunities to assert themselves, creating a complex web of relationships that is both fragile and volatile. These alliances shift with startling speed, as trust becomes a rare commodity and deception lurks behind every smile. One particularly shocking development involves a secretive figure whose knowledge threatens to upend the entire power dynamic in Genoa City. This individual possesses information that could destroy Victor's empire and alter the trajectory of Kane's revenge, injecting suspense and anticipation into every unfolding scene. The story's emotional intensity is matched by its psychological complexity. Kane's moral journey raises questions about the nature of justice and the fine line between right and wrong. As he dismantles Victor's network piece by piece, viewers are forced to consider whether his actions are heroic, obsessive, or dangerously destructive. The consequences of his decisions are felt throughout the city. Families are divided, friendships are tested, and alliances shift unpredictably. Each revelation triggers cascading reactions, forcing characters to reevaluate their priorities and confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty, ambition, and power. As the weeks progress, Genoa City itself becomes a battlefield. The streets, offices, and homes of the Newman Empire are infused with tension, as every interaction carries the potential for conflict. Kane's revenge is no longer a personal vendetta, it has become a citywide phenomenon, altering the very fabric of relationships, business structures, and social hierarchies. High-stakes confrontations continue to unfold, each more intense than the last. Boardroom showdowns, clandestine meetings, and sudden betrayals create a pulse-pounding narrative that keeps viewers on edge. Each character is forced to navigate a minefield of secrets, rivalries, and shifting loyalties, knowing that one misstep could have catastrophic consequences. Meanwhile, Victor struggles to maintain control. His calculated strategies clash with Kane's relentless drive, resulting in moments of tension, confrontation, and unexpected vulnerability. For the first time, Victor is forced to reckon with the reality that his empire, and even his family, may not be as secure as he believed. The personal stakes are equally high. Emotional confrontations with children, friends, and former allies reveal the human cost of power struggles and vengeance. Characters face difficult choices that test their integrity, challenge their loyalties, and expose hidden desires. The psychological drama adds depth to the narrative, making the unfolding war as much about the heart as it is about corporate dominance. As Kane's campaign advances, Genoa City is transformed into a stage for explosive drama. The ripple effects touch every corner of the city, leaving viewers captivated by the intertwining narratives of ambition, betrayal, and retribution. Secrets are exposed, alliances are tested, and the fragile balance of power is shattered, ensuring that no one remains unaffected by the fallout. By the time the dust begins to settle, the consequences of Kane's vengeance will be felt far and wide. Relationships will be irreversibly altered, long-hidden truths brought to light, and the future of Newman Enterprises cast into uncertainty. Audiences are left grappling with questions about justice, loyalty, and the lengths one man will go to reclaim control and protect what is his. The city stands at the brink of transformation, and Kane's explosive war promises to deliver shocking twists, unforgettable confrontations, and an emotional journey that will resonate long after the final curtain falls. Genoa City will never be the same again, and the echoes of Kane's revenge will continue to reverberate, leaving both characters and viewers breathless. As Kane's calculated attacks unfold, Genoa City braces for a shockwave that reaches far beyond Victor's immediate circle. His campaign of revenge begins to draw in secondary players whose lives have long been affected by the Newman Empire. Mariah Copeland, often caught between loyalty and love, finds herself unexpectedly entangled in Kane's strategy. Her ties to the Newman family make her both a potential ally and a vulnerable target. The tension surrounding her choices underscores the personal cost of Kane's war, as she grapples with decisions that could either protect those she loves or plunge her into unforeseen danger. Meanwhile, Tessa Porter's ambition and moral compass collide with the chaos around her. Drawn into Kane's orbit through business dealings and personal loyalty, she becomes an essential player in the unfolding drama. Every move she makes is scrutinized, every choice potentially altering the balance of power in ways she cannot yet predict. Jill Abbott, never one to shy away from scandal or leverage, sees Kane's uprising and adds a layer of unpredictability as she maneuvers behind the scenes, exploiting vulnerabilities and gathering intelligence that could serve her interests or sabotage Kane's carefully laid plans. The emotional stakes escalate as family dynamics clash with corporate machinations. Kane's children become inadvertent symbols of his resolve, their well-being intertwined with his drive for justice. Each interaction with Victor's allies is infused with tension, as Kane must balance personal loyalty with the strategic ruthlessness necessary to execute his revenge. In an unexpected twist, a secret from Victor's past emerges, shaking the foundations of trust among his closest allies. This revelation, once buried for years, provides Kane with a tactical advantage that amplifies his campaign. Long-hidden alliances crumble under the weight of betrayal, exposing the fragility of the power structures that once seemed unshakable. Victor, caught between protecting his empire and safeguarding his family, begins to show cracks in his legendary composure. His attempts to regain control are met with resistance, clever counter-strategies, and surprising revelations that destabilize his influence. The confrontation between father and son intensifies, highlighting the psychological depth of the conflict. Emotional confrontations intertwine with corporate maneuvering as Kane exposes inconsistencies, hidden motives, and past betrayals that force Victor and his allies to reconsider every assumption. Every interaction becomes a battlefield where strategy, loyalty, and emotion collide, creating tension that is both gripping and unpredictable. The city itself becomes a chessboard, with Genoa city streets, offices, and private spaces serving as the stage for the unfolding drama. Each secret meeting, unexpected encounter, and whispered conversation carries the potential to alter the trajectory of the conflict. Kane's strategic brilliance forces his opponents to constantly adapt, often in ways that reveal their own vulnerabilities. Unexpected betrayals emerge, shaking the foundations of long-standing alliances. Trusted friends question motives, rivals seize opportunities, and hidden agendas surface, complicating an already volatile environment. The emotional intensity of the narrative deepens as Kane navigates moral ambiguity, personal risk, and the consequences of vengeance. Every choice he makes reflects a delicate balance between justice and obsession, highlighting the cost of his relentless pursuit. The stakes grow higher as the conflict spills into public arenas. Boardroom battles escalate, private negotiations are threatened by leaks, and even casual encounters carry strategic significance. Kane's ability to manipulate events while maintaining the appearance of loyalty showcases his tactical genius, keeping both allies and enemies on edge. As shocking secrets are revealed, alliances are tested, and the human cost of power and ambition becomes impossible to ignore. Friends become foes, enemies form uneasy coalitions, and the personal ramifications of corporate warfare dominate the emotional landscape. Kane's campaign forces each character to confront their own desires, fears, and ethical boundaries, ensuring that the consequences of this war resonate on both professional and deeply personal levels. Amid the turmoil, unexpected partnerships arise, as characters reassess priorities and realign loyalties. These alliances, often temporary and fraught with tension, demonstrate the fluidity of trust in a city dominated by ambition, secrecy, and power. The story continues to build toward a crescendo, promising moments of shocking revelation, emotionally charged confrontations, and strategic brilliance. Every step Kane takes brings Genoa City closer to a point of no return, where long-held secrets collide with present-day ambitions, creating a volatile mix of suspense, drama, and intrigue. In the coming episodes, viewers can expect escalating stakes, breathtaking twists, and heart-pounding drama as Kane's war reaches new heights. The fallout will be far-reaching, reshaping relationships, dismantling established power structures, and redefining the landscape of the city. Every character is poised on the edge, navigating a world where loyalty is fleeting, ambition is ruthless, and the pursuit of justice carries a price that may prove higher than anyone anticipated. As the story hurtles forward, the narrative tension between revenge, morality, and emotional consequence becomes increasingly intense. Kane's journey reflects not only a tactical mastery of power dynamics, but also a deeply human struggle with the costs of vengeance, loyalty, and love. Genoa City will bear witness to confrontations that are as emotionally resonant as they are strategically calculated, leaving viewers captivated by the intricate interplay of ambition, betrayal, and personal stakes. The explosive war against Victor's allies continues to escalate, promising breathtaking drama, shocking reversals, and the high-stakes suspense that defines the very essence of the young and the restless. The conflict in Genoa City reaches a fever pitch as Kane's meticulously crafted plans begin to infiltrate every corner of Victor's empire. The city's elite are no longer spectators. They are pawns, players, and victims of a game that has escalated far beyond business rivalry. Devin Hamilton, whose sense of morality and loyalty has often guided him through turbulent waters, finds himself drawn into Kane's orbit. His involvement brings a fresh perspective to the chaos, highlighting the ethical dilemmas inherent in Kane's campaign. Devin struggles to reconcile the righteousness of Kane's mission with the collateral damage it creates, knowing that even well-intentioned actions can have devastating consequences. Meanwhile, Lily Winters, ever the voice of reason, faces a series of moral and emotional challenges. As secrets unravel and alliances shift, she is forced to confront her own loyalties and make decisions that will shape the outcome of the power struggle. Her interactions with Kane reveal the human side of this high-stakes war, grounding the corporate maneuvering in deeply personal stakes. The tension escalates as new revelations threaten to topple the delicate balance within Victor's network. Allies who once operated in comfortable anonymity are now exposed, their past misdeeds brought into sharp relief. Kane's ability to manipulate information, orchestrate meetings, and reveal hidden truths demonstrates a level of strategic acumen that leaves even his most formidable opponents off balance. Jill Abbott, sensing the chaos as an opportunity, maneuvers aggressively. Her moves are as unpredictable as they are ruthless, leveraging insider knowledge and personal connections to influence the outcome of key battles. Her involvement adds a layer of intrigue and danger, forcing Kane to anticipate moves he never expected and constantly adapt his strategy. The emotional stakes for Kane remain high. His family, caught in the crossfire of his vengeance, becomes both a source of strength and vulnerability. Moments of tenderness, concern, and fear underscore the human consequences of his campaign, reminding viewers that behind every strategic move is a man whose personal life is intimately entwined with the battle for justice. Amid the turbulence, shocking betrayals rock Genoa reveal hidden agendas, long-suppressed grudges surface, and the fragile network of loyalty begins to crumble. Kane's ability to anticipate these shifts gives him an edge, but even he is not immune to surprises. Unexpected players enter the fray, injecting further uncertainty and raising the stakes to new heights. The psychological intensity of the narrative deepens as every character navigates a web of secrets, manipulation, and moral ambiguity. Kane's pursuit of revenge forces others to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves, their ambitions, and their allegiances. Even Victor, who has long wielded power with near-absolute authority, finds himself challenged in ways that test his resilience, cunning, and emotional control. As boardroom showdowns intensify, the personal consequences of corporate warfare become impossible to ignore. Kane orchestrates moves that expose long-hidden indiscretions, force public humiliations, and destabilize relationships that once seemed unshakable. Every revelation has a ripple effect, generating chaos and forcing both allies and rivals to reassess their strategies. The city itself becomes a landscape of tension and suspense, where the streets, offices, and private spaces all serve as stages for confrontation, deception, and emotional reckoning. Kane's revenge transcends traditional boundaries, transforming Genoa City into a battlefield where loyalty is fluid, ambition is ruthless, and every decision carries weighty consequences. The narrative escalates further when an anonymous leak threatens to compromise key aspects of Kane's plan. The leak, which exposes sensitive information to Victor and his inner circle, tests Kane's adaptability and strategic foresight. His response to this new challenge demonstrates both his tactical brilliance and his willingness to navigate morally ambiguous terrain to achieve his objectives. Meanwhile, personal relationships fray under the pressure of relentless conflict. Romantic entanglements, family loyalties, and deep-seated friendships are all put to the test, revealing vulnerabilities and strengths alike. Characters must confront the consequences of past actions while making choices that will determine the future of both their personal lives and the city's power structure. As the weeks unfold, Genoa City becomes a crucible for intense drama, where every secret, betrayal, and ambition converges to create explosive confrontations. The interplay between personal and professional stakes drives the narrative, keeping viewers on edge as the story hurtles toward inevitable climactic showdowns. Kane's campaign demonstrates that revenge, while satisfying in its execution, is rarely without cost. Each victory carries unforeseen consequences, and the human toll becomes increasingly evident as relationships, trust, and reputations are tested to their limits. The tension between justice and obsession, loyalty and ambition, continues to fuel the narrative, making every moment unpredictable and emotionally charged. Shocking twists, such as unexpected alliances, betrayals, and moral dilemmas, ensure that the city remains on edge. Every character, from the most powerful executives to those who operate in the shadows, must navigate a complex landscape of danger, strategy, and ethical ambiguity. By the time the next confrontation erupts, Genoa City is transformed. The fallout from Kane's war has redefined relationships, destabilized power structures, and left a lingering sense of suspense. Every viewer is left questioning who will emerge victorious, who will survive the personal and professional fallout, and what the ultimate cost of Kane's vengeance will be. The stage is set for even more explosive developments as secrets continue to surface, loyalties are tested, and the war between Kane and Victor's allies escalates toward a crescendo that promises breathtaking drama, shocking reversals, and unforgettable emotional moments. The story is far from over, and Genoa City braces for the next chapter of this relentless, high-stakes saga. The city of Genoa is on edge as Kane Ashby's relentless campaign against Victor's allies reaches a fever pitch. With every calculated move, Kane demonstrates a cunning and determination that shocks even the most seasoned players in Newman Enterprises. Victor, long accustomed to commanding loyalty and instilling fear, is now forced into uncharted territory, confronting vulnerabilities that threaten not only his empire, but also his family's unity. Victoria Newman, often caught between ambition and family loyalty, becomes a critical figure in the unfolding drama. Her choices carry immense weight as she navigates a treacherous landscape of corporate maneuvering and personal loyalty. Victoria finds herself confronting the uncomfortable truth that those she trusted implicitly may now be compromised, and she must decide whether to stand by her father, ally with Kane, or strike a path that serves her own interests. Abby Newman, ever ambitious and unpredictable, senses an opportunity in Kane's uprising. Her strategic instincts kick in as she maneuvers in the shadows, aligning herself with whichever faction promises the most power, influence, or personal advantage. Her involvement introduces a new layer of complexity and danger as alliances shift at lightning speed, and no one can predict whose side she will truly be on. As Kane continues to expose betrayals and unravel hidden schemes, Genoa City becomes a pressure cooker of emotion, ambition, and deception. Boardroom showdowns escalate into confrontations laden with tension, and every whispered conversation carries the potential to ignite explosive conflict. Allies who once seemed unwavering now hesitate, their loyalties tested in the face of Kane's relentless strategic brilliance. Unexpected revelations rock the foundation of Victor's empire. Long-suppressed secrets resurface, implicating allies in betrayals that shake the core of Newman Enterprises. Kane's calculated exposures not only weaken Victor's control but also create opportunities for new power players to emerge, adding unpredictable dynamics to the already volatile city landscape. Amidst the chaos, the personal stakes continue to rise. Families are drawn into the crossfire, friendships fracture, and romantic relationships face impossible choices. The emotional cost of Kane's campaign is starkly evident, reminding viewers that behind every strategic maneuver lies a deeply human story of fear, love, loyalty, and vengeance. Shocking twists emerge as long-hidden alliances surface, and previously overlooked characters seize critical moments to assert influence. Each revelation generates cascading consequences, forcing both Victor and Kane to adapt strategies on the fly, anticipating moves that could alter the outcome of the conflict. The tension reaches a peak during a high-stakes confrontation where Victor's closest allies are confronted with irrefutable evidence of their betrayal. The room is electric with shock, anger, and disbelief, as the ramifications of Kane's plan threaten to dismantle long-standing relationships and destabilize the very core of the Newman Empire. As the drama intensifies, Kane's moral compass is tested like never before. His pursuit of justice and vengeance blurs the line between right and wrong, raising questions about the true cost of power and retribution. Every choice carries weighty consequences, not just for himself, but for the city, his family, and everyone caught in the escalating web are further heightened by unexpected external players who see Kane's campaign as an opportunity to influence outcomes for their own gain. These intrusions add unpredictability to the power struggle, creating layers of tension that keep every character and every viewer on edge. Meanwhile, emotional confrontations punctuate the corporate battles as past grievances and unresolved tensions explode into the open. Characters are forced to reconcile personal loyalties with strategic necessity, resulting in moments of raw, unfiltered emotion that underscore the human cost of the conflict. Genoa City itself becomes a crucible, reflecting the intensity of Kane's war. Every office, home, and street becomes a stage for drama, deception, and confrontation. No one can act without consequence, and even minor decisions carry the potential to ignite cascading effects throughout the city's power structures. The narrative continues to escalate as secrets, betrayals, and strategic moves intersect, creating a complex and enthralling storyline that keeps viewers on edge. Relationships are tested, alliances crumble, and the fragility of trust becomes painfully evident. Every character, from the most powerful executive to those operating in the shadows, must navigate a landscape where ambition, revenge, and loyalty collide in unpredictable ways. As Kane's revenge campaign unfolds, the city braces for even more shocking revelations, breathtaking twists, and emotionally charged confrontations. The consequences of his actions ripple outward, reshaping the future of Newman Enterprises, altering long-standing family dynamics and challenging the very notions of loyalty and justice. The war against Victor's allies is far from over, and Genoa City is caught in the eye of the storm. Each day brings new developments, moral quandaries, and strategic maneuvers that heighten tension and anticipation. Kane's journey is one of relentless pursuit, tactical mastery, and deeply human struggle, ensuring that viewers remain captivated by every twist, betrayal, and unexpected alliance. The stakes could not be higher, the dangers more real, and the consequences more devastating, as the explosive saga continues to unfold with relentless intensity, leaving Genoa City forever changed. The tension in Genoa City reaches unprecedented levels as Kane's carefully orchestrated vendetta continues to shake the foundations of Victor Newman's empire. Every revelation, every exposed secret, and every calculated move sends shockwaves through both personal and professional relationships, leaving the city teetering on the edge of chaos. Among those most affected is Phyllis Summers, whose ambition and cunning make her a wild card in the conflict. Phyllis, long familiar with the Newman family's power dynamics, recognizes that Kane's campaign presents both a threat and an opportunity. She maneuvers with ruthless precision, weighing each action carefully, knowing that a single misstep could cost her everything. Adam Newman, ever unpredictable and increasingly dangerous, emerges as another key figure in the unfolding drama. His complex motivations, alternating between self-interest, loyalty, and vengeance, inject uncertainty into Kane's plans. Every interaction with Adam carries the potential for sabotage, forcing Kane to anticipate moves that could either advance or unravel his intricate strategy. The war is no longer confined to corporate boardrooms. Personal relationships are caught in the crossfire, and families are forced to confront painful truths. Kane's children, close friends, and allies become collateral in a battle that tests not only loyalty, but the very definition of justice. Emotional stakes reach a boiling point when long-buried secrets resurface, implicating characters and betrayals that redefine the boundaries of trust. Victoria Newman, caught between family loyalty and her own ambitions, finds herself making difficult choices that could tip the balance of power. Every decision she makes carries weighty consequences, forcing her to navigate a treacherous landscape where alliances shift at a moment's notice. Abby Newman, driven by her own agenda, exploits the chaos to her advantage. Her unpredictable maneuvers keep both Kane and Victor guessing, injecting tension and uncertainty into every encounter. As she forms temporary alliances and tests loyalties, her actions create ripple effects that destabilize existing power structures and threaten to upend carefully laid plans. Kane's revenge reaches critical mass when he exposes a web of deception that implicates multiple high-profile allies. The fallout is immediate. Boardroom confrontations escalate, private dealings are upended, and the city's elite scramble to reassess loyalties and safeguard their positions. Victor, whose authority has been nearly unchallenged for decades, confronts a vulnerability he never anticipated. His attempts to regain control are met with strategic brilliance and relentless pressure from Cain, forcing him to adapt in ways that reveal both his ingenuity and his susceptibility to miscalculation. Amid the strategic maneuvering, the emotional drama deepens. Romantic entanglements, family loyalty, and long-standing rivalries collide in explosive ways, highlighting the human cost of ambition and revenge. Every confrontation carries emotional weight, and characters are forced to reckon with both the consequences of their past actions and the immediate dangers of the present conflict. Genoa City itself is transformed into a battleground of intrigue, betrayal, and suspense. Every street, office, and private space becomes a theater for confrontation, strategic maneuvering, and unexpected revelation. Cain's campaign forces the city's players to constantly adapt, testing loyalties, exposing hidden motives, and redefining the dynamics of power and influence. Shocking twists continue to emerge as new alliances form and old friendships fracture. Characters like Devon Hamilton and Lily Winters, whose sense of morality has often guided their actions, are forced into difficult choices that test their ethics, resilience, and capacity for forgiveness. Secrets and schemes converge, creating a volatile environment where every action can trigger cascading consequences. As the narrative hurtles forward, the stakes reach their peak. Cain's pursuit of vengeance is not only about exposing corruption and betrayal, but also about challenging the very foundations of power in Genoa City. Each revelation forces characters to confront uncomfortable truths, while every victory or setback carries profound personal and professional ramifications. The story builds toward an explosive crescendo, promising dramatic confrontations, shocking reversals, and emotionally charged moments that will leave viewers on the edge of their seats. Cain's war against Victor's allies has irrevocably altered the landscape of Genoa City. Relationships are fractured, power structures destabilized, and the emotional consequences of betrayal and ambition ripple through every corner of the city. The narrative tension between strategy, loyalty, and personal morality drives the drama forward, ensuring that every twist and turn is both shocking and consequential. In the coming episodes, viewers can expect relentless suspense, unexpected alliances, and heart-pounding drama as Cain's campaign reaches its ultimate climax. The fallout will redefine family dynamics, reshape corporate power, and leave an indelible mark on every character caught in the storm. Genoa City is forever changed, and Cain's revenge continues.